Hello, I'm Mariana Danilovich with Ultra Live TV, and we're here at Digital Hollywood Spring with Tamara Krinsky, who manages the digital media marketing program at the Writers Guild West.
I am the new media project manager at the Writers Guild of America West. I know, it's a mouthful.
Probably a totally different job.
A little bit.
So tell us what you do at the Writers Guild West.
Sure. I was hired by the Writers Guild back in December to really be their point person on new media. When the Writers Guild strike happened in 2007, we gained jurisdiction over the area. And part of what the Writers Guild really realized was that they needed someone to really help them understand what was going on in the space, who's making money from original video content right now, who's not making money from original video content, how all the different pieces are working together as advertising and entertainment start to merge a bit more, how that's all working. So that's what I'm doing there.
For the Guild or for the writers?
Well, ultimately, the reason the Guild exists is for the writers. So at the end of the day, it's not about keeping the Guild in business. It's about what can we do to help and protect our writers.
So you're like the secret weapon in these negotiations that are coming up.
Oh, God, no. Do not task me with that at all. No. Honestly, it's really just about understanding the space. I mean, there are so many different players now, and things are changing so rapidly that it's important to understand how all of those players work together. So I'm not a spy. I'm not, a big part of my job is actually sitting down with content creators, with studios, with agents, with brands, and really understanding what their needs and goals and desires are so that you understand how they all work together. And then where the writer fits in, because at the end of the day, we want there to be a place at the table for creative professionals.
I completely understand. I sit on the board of directors of the New Media Producers Guild, and it's the same idea. There's just such an interest in the Hollywood community as to what digital media really is and how it could be monetized and how it can be integrated with traditional media projects, and I bet you have a lot of answers.
No, I was actually about to ask you if you have the answer, because that's what we're looking for. And I think that's what's so interesting about being here in Digital Hollywood. I think one of the things that's being talked about is nobody knows the answer yet. The exciting thing is people are trying lots of different things. They're trying, different windows, releasing things through transactions, through trying to make money through transactions, through subscriptions, through ad-supported models. And everybody's just trying stuff out. And that's what's exciting right now. We get to try things out.
And how much are writers experimenting with their own stuff directly?
Writers are experimenting a lot, which is one of the cool things, and that's, part of why we're interested in understanding the space better. The nice thing about the online arena is that because the cost of distribution are now lower, and because the cost of the tools with which you make your content, your cameras, your desktop editing is so much lower, there's no barrier between a content creator and getting something out to their audience. Now, of course, once you do that, you still have to figure out how to get eyeballs to watch it, but that's an entirely different question. Do you have the answer to that?
Well, that's an interesting question, because we have talent that we interviewed over the past few days who feel that now they can get direct access to audience because they quoted their audience to us, and it's monetizable with the CPM of a sort, depending on where they are on the web or on mobile. And also for the Writers Guild, I think the writers can go up and put their projects and their readings up online, which some of the members of yours have talked about. And so it's a great question. I think the audience aggregation is really the path to monetization.
I think that you may be right. And again, there's no one answer right now. We have writers who are established names who are putting things out into the space. We have writers who are going the grassroots route, and maybe they have a project that fits into a particular niche. It's a sci-fi piece or a fantasy piece, or it's a piece that deals with parenting and motherhood. And so they're reaching out into those audiences and using all of the social networking tools that are out there and available to them to help build that audience, to then possibly attract advertising to help support that model, to help attract investment. So again, people are trying it a lot of different ways right now.
And it's so great to have these mediums, because I remember sitting in these mentoring workshops, pitch sessions, where writers would come in and say, I have this fantastic idea, and all I really need is to raise some money for a pilot. And now maybe they don't really need to raise that money. They can try that pilot in different ways online.
Well, you bring up a really interesting point. We actually presented a panel this morning called The Writer as Entrepreneur, which really looked at the creative aspects of what writers are doing on the web. And it was a panel that was made up of people who work both in traditional broadcast media as well as the web. So, for example, the Sklar brothers, Christian Taylor, who created New Amsterdam and just did just did a series called Valmont for MTV, which was online and on mobile and a variety of platforms. We had Kalina Keefe, who created Reese, which was a series out of Canada that now is going to make its way to Sci-Fi, and a couple of other people. And that's something interesting that came up during the panel, the frustration of some of these writers who have done pilots that 5 people have seen and then were shelved and never went anywhere. And this excitement and jubilation at being able to say, you know what, I'm just going to go make my project and get it out there. Now, a lot of these people have followings. They're comedians, or again, they've gone the grassroots route. So they've factored marketing into that, but there's such excitement at actually making your content, getting it out there, not having it tucked away.
We actually captured that panel for Ultra Live TV and Digital Hollywood, and think it was one of the better panels, if not one of the best panels of the conference. A great job.
Thank you. Well, we've got some great writers, and we were excited to actually be able to present that conversation.
The truth comes out. You are the secret weapon.
You're going to get me in trouble. She's a sassy one.
It's a pleasure, and thank you so much for spending some time with us and for putting that panel together.
Oh, thanks, Marianne. It's good to talk with you.
Thank you.